Hello, beautiful people. How are you all doing today? Hello. What's up, chat? Sleep check? I slept okay. I slept from, like, I think around 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Something like that. Which is a reasonable amount of sleep, but considering the fact that I had been up for like 40 hours, maybe wasn't ideal. I don't know. Okay. That See, if that hadn't been a sub message, that could have been wow, you got me, good one, buddy. But considering the fact that you said this in a sub message, I kind of had some yeah. Anyways, how do you all do today? That yesterday I read um I read Beware the Villainous, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much better it gets after like 10 chapters. The mono, yeah. The first like 10 chapters are kind of ass, honestly. Like they're fine. They're not entirely unreadable, but like they're not good either. But once they stop, it feels like it's a fucking like gag comic at the start. But once they move away from that, it's actually kind of nice. What mono are we talking about? Beware the Villainous. It's about. I mean, it's a fucking villainous isekai. Um, where the main character is reincarnated into a villainous, and the four like love interests are a crown prince who fucks other women in front of her because he's delusional. Um, her brother, which is not actually her love interest. Like she's the it's like reincarnated in the world of a novel. And yo, what's up, Brad? Just in time for a very interesting conversation. Um, but yeah, when I say the love interest, it's love interest for the protagonist in the novel of the world she's reincarnated into. It's not her love interest. Anyways, I'm saying this because the next one is the villainous's brother. Right? Not a love interest for the villainous, although there is some sus things a little bit. But it's it's not. Anyways, Anyways, incest and manhwa/anime. Okay, unironically though, I think it is completely reasonable to say that in all of the thing, it is a reasonable interpretation to say that there are no incest tropes in that one. Anyways, yeah, the brother is like honestly just an Omega stalker. Like, no respect for privacy whatsoever. Then there's a werewolf that is like straight up feral and tries to murder everyone. And there's a really rich guy. But his love interest for the original protagonist? Yeah, exactly. That's how you normalize billionaires. I mean, to be fair, I feel like that one specifically kind of acts like a billionaire does in real life. Definitely gives me real billionaire vibes. Okay, is it the day for talent books? Oh, I actually want to do my commissions today too. Contention, hell yeah.
What shall we do?
How long did you keep Genshin open for today? I just always forget to close it after stream. And I don't... Lately, I haven't used my desktop for off-stream stuff very much. I use my laptop more.
Mind the side of it.
Wait, you aren't playing Genshin for one entire day straight? No, I'm not. You do the local legend with the insane amount of damage buffs today. I'm not even sure I'm gonna do the local legend today at all. It's in the title, because clickbait. But I'm doing Imaginarium Theater before Local Legends, most likely. If I do either. But we'll have to see how the stream goes.
Solidify. Mind the side of it.
What do you think of Natlan's story so far? I'd say it's pretty good so far. I think I'm liking it a little bit more than the start of Sumeru. A lot more than Fontaine. Oops. What am I doing?
Let the world collide. The doctor was carving waves. Amazing. New surfboard?
What do you think of Natlan's music? Very good. Speaking of which, we might as well have it music for this. 'Cause why not? Why not?
Strike a pose. Time to shine.
Gather. Mind the side effect.
Catch an epic wave. Whoosh!
It's just annoying that you can finish the whole thing without even that you can finish a domain without even finishing the build up. That's why the first time I heard this one, I was like, I hope this isn't the combat music. I think they had it on the, was it the live stream or whatever? One of the
Aligning, echoing song.
Solidify.
one of the events.
Let's ride.
They had the Natlan combat music.
Let's shred.
And I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's why. I just feel like for combat music, it's like, it starts too slow. Also, are we not gonna get any purples today? Come on. Let's do better than this.
Gather.
Showing you the praise. Time to shine.
Mind the side effect.
Carving waves. Surf's up. Woohoo!
The only character I regret pulling is Clavine. Honestly, I kind of agree. Like, obviously, I regret getting Yoimiya, but it's not like I was actually trying to get Yoimiya. I just made a mistake on the back. Right?
The doctor was
It's not a decision I made that I regret that I have Yoimiya. It just happened and I'm sad about it. Fuck.
check this out. Just the watch.
Whereas Clyde, I actually wanted to get her, and I really wish I didn't. Clyde's boring to play, yeah. She's not really fun to play, she feels kind of buggy, and she's
Echoing song.
not good enough to justify
Mind the
that.
side effects.
Let's ride. Amazing. Off we go.
Didn't you want Sino? I don't regret Sino as much as I regret Clemente. As much as I don't play him much nowadays, I actually did play him a decent amount when he came out. Whereas I benched Clement after like 3 days. If they're not combat commissions, we might get to hear some Notland music. My goat. I fucking love Notland music. Yeah, I like it too. I guess we're gonna hear the combat music for a little bit.
Let's do this then!
Hey, I just realized.
That was quick. Carving waves. Need a surfboard?
We don't get to hear environmental music for this commission. That's unfortunate.
Woohoo! The slippery ground here is perfect for sliding around.
Defeat
with
the
surfboard.
avatars of the lava. For those. Oh, that's just a...
Solidify!
Wait, no.
Strike a pose.
Something
Let
right.
the world collide.
A bigger puzzle.
Lavatar, if you may. I don't think you may. Why is it plural when there's only one? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, where are those aforementioned avatars of lava? Am I being lied to? Am I being bamboozled?
Need a surfboard?
What's going on here? Talk to Milu Nui. This really is the worst area in Notland so far. The music is kind of just meh. It makes me feel like I'm playing a fucking tycoon game. Beach Resort Tycoon. What is this? I'm guessing there's an achievement related to this commission. That's why there's so much fucking yapping. Jesus Christ.
Carving waves.
Come on! Show me your
No, the music was nice! You fucked up!
Forget it!
Oh, do you rank the tribes? Like, based on what criteria? How PogChamp they are? The music of their respective areas? What are we basing this on? Children of the Echoes clears? I agree, honestly.
Off we go. Faster. Add Astra.
Pretty much no matter
Thank
what
you for
criteria
completing-
so far, Children of the Echo kind of
Add Astra.
Children of the Echoes kind of fucking clears.
Need a surfboard?
The best part of the story was the one related to them. Their music is the best.
I'm heading east. Don't you come with?
Is Shilonen Echoes? Yeah, she is. They have Shilonen? They have lore Kachina, and I'm separating lore Kachina from character Kachina because I refuse to believe they are the same. There's too much of a disconnect between how I feel about Kachina, like in the story, and how I feel about Kachina as a playable character. And it's making my brain short circuit, so I'm just keeping them separate in my mind. Not the race tier list. It's not a race tier list. Calm down, okay? Calm the fuck down. Whoa, buddy. Whoa. That's going a little far, don't you think? Don't you think that's going a little far? Have you guys seen these fucking racist Twitter pages sharing their fucking... It's not even a tier list, it's a tier pyramid of races. 90% of Twitter is racist. It's not that 90% of Twitter is racist, it's that there's a lot of overlap between people that are racist and people that are fucking stupid enough to buy Twitter Blue. And as the algorithm inherently pushes Twitter Blue a lot more than non-paid users, it makes it look like there's a lot of racism on the app. Well, I mean, there is a lot of racism on the app because there's a lot of shit on the app in total, but proportionally, Twitter is not nearly as racist as it looks. 90% of visible Twitter is racist. 90% of visible Twitter on a new account, maybe. But
Off we go.
I mean, Twitter's algorithm is based on showing you things that it thinks you're gonna engage with. Right? So if you ignore racist posts and you scroll past them, you don't engage with them whatsoever, it's gonna start filtering them out. I can never truly remove them from my feed because sometimes I see them and I get angry, so I click on them to like look at the comments because I need to cure myself by seeing some reasonable things said about the shitty things. I know I shouldn't because it fucks my algorithm. The fact that I click on it gives it an impression, which is engagement for the algorithm. But it's sometimes the temptation is too strong.
Is the
right. The algorithm before X was way better. I mean, kinda? Anyways. I'm gonna have to build so many characters, aren't I? I don't wanna. Wait, what is that? What enemy is that? Is that a fucking... Ew! That's disgusting, man! Whatever, it's fine. Okay. I guess I'd rather use my characters than the trial characters for pretty much all of this. Sure. The fuck is that? Yeah, we'll figure it out. Special guests. Okay, these are useful. Okay, what am I gonna get from the alternate cast? Has to be a character I don't own that would actually be useful. Or a high constellation shitty character. Either of those would work. Oh, isn't Nilo pretty good, actually? And she has key. Kind of fog. Yeah. Pretty much confirm we're doing that. The ones that are like certain that I'm using are these, I guess. And then the rest is like, just use what I can, I guess. Probably worth having behind. I don't really want to use Nutty. I can make Ayato work. Child is a bit questionable. I'll use Futao. Man. I can use Toma. I guess I do use Tron. Yeah, and then what are the buffs? Let's see. They're probably worth it, right? I wish I had Kachina actually leveled. We can make gumming work. We can make Linny work. We can make Tiffany work. As long as we have him with Raiden. And then let's just put Yuimi and hope we don't get her. Oh, I gotta build so many fucking characters, dude. What a pain in the ass. I think I'll do this. This is not ideal, but it'll have to do, because I'm too lazy to actually change this shit. Probably good, right? It's a little cringe. It'll do. That's not it. That's not ideal. Let's do something else. That's definitely not it. Do I have a fast equip for her? Gumming's on that. That's not good. But I can have him on Magical Say, actually. It's not that bad. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Although it does mean my Mualani's gonna be slightly overcapped. But I guess it is what it is.
Toodle.
Fuck. That's really annoying. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, this works out. This works out, we're fine. I forgot I got a new Fab Lens recently. Fucking Pog. It's okay, Chad. The gearing is almost done. that's not it either. I'm gonna be overcapped, aren't I? I'm gonna be overcapped on her as well. Fuck! Game fucking sucks, man. I hate it so much. Get me out, man. Get me the fuck out. Someone, please. Oh. I can't do it like that. It's whatever. We'll figure it out from here. I'm gonna have too much crit rate, aren't I? Well, that's not good at all. Well, we're overcapped, but it'll have to do. Fucking hell. I'm so tired of this, man. I hate gearing, man. Fucking hell. I fucking hate gearing, man. I hate it so much. I give up. I'm just gonna hope I don't have to use him. I guess, dude. I'm out of options, man. I'm just gonna hope I don't have to use her either. That was the last one, right? I'm not actually using any of these. Also, I just realized I also need to make sure these are properly done. That's acceptable. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see this one. Well, let's give her the pretty weapon. And pretend there's no problem. Okay. Alright, Pog. Glad we're on the same page, chat. I'm really glad. Okay. Yep. Find some ER. Energy recharge. This is gonna be good enough, I guess. Alright. Let's do this. Okay, and then just fucking... You have to redo this. There we go. $120 flowers, pog. Burning stuff, I don't care that much about. I'd rather get a companion. Extend my starting cast. I don't need Kazuha early.
Need to end a few enemies?
Vaporize Origin is probably worth it. Vaporize Divergence is probably worth it. When triggering Vaporize, unleash a tidal shock that deals hydro damage. That seems pretty good for reverse vape teams, but really bad. Oh, you have to choose between reverse and forward? Wait, that sucks. No! Let's go for the Pyro one. Oh. Vaporize Evolution. Vaporize the Flame Paramount. We don't have any money left, so let's go for this. Does the Hydro damage actually apply Hydro? I mean, it wouldn't make any sense if it didn't. It seems like a fine starting team. Not a great one, but a fine starting team.
Let's get it up! Neutralize! A little ambiance! Carving wave! Amazing! You asked for it! Do your work! This'll brighten up the place! Buckle up! Let's ride!
Yeah, I think that was a good enough starting team. Let's get Ayato. Oh, that's free. Why do I have to choose between two of them that are free? Fucked up. That's pretty good. Hydro Companion, I don't really want, and I don't want a normal battle either, so I'll roll. Hey, Vaporize upgrade, woohoo! Okay. Unleashes a chain explosion when triggering Vaporize on an opponent. After it hits an opponent, 2 additional explosions with larger areas will be set off, dealing greater pyro damage. pretty good. Yeah. First one does seem a lot more fun. And we get an elite, so that's pretty good. Wait, what's that? Pyro characters have an advantage. Wow. Should be good enough, I think.
Yeah. Stay put.
Please, grant us your blessing.
It's the fire. Don't get it, Uruguay. Uruguay, yeah?
Yield. We shall
Nice and spicy.
Cascade.
please.
Baiju. Would I rather get bloomed or burning? Probably bloomed. Oh. That's fucking broken. What the hell? Jesus Christ. What is a lingering seed? They're consumed after touching an opponent, dealing dendro damage to the opponent. That seems pog. Bloomed again? Gladly. So I want to use... Yeah, I need some pyro characters. I think I'll use this.
Let's get it up.
Need a surfboard?
Remember, health comes first. Mind the side effect.
Buckle up.
Nice. I actually need Toma more right now, because I'm running out of pyro. Endgame real. Ooh, huge. It's really good. Touch opponents to consume all lingering seeds. That doesn't seem that good. Hey, thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. We're currently doing Imaginarium Theater. I will say so far, it's a lot better than the previous iterations. Neither of these look that good. I'll get this one. Yeah, these are ass. It's okay. Is it gonna be forced leyline? Yes. However, Ruin Guards, my goat. Always down for Ruin Guards. Kind of unfortunate. I guess I just do this. Wait, I'm an idiot.
Kamisato up. Suiyu, I got you covered. No time to lose. Seems like an emergency. A bitter pulse. Be still. Fire it up. Here's backup. No time to lose. Taking a turn for the better.
Using Cal to increase Zajef to normal attack health level. Unfortunately, that's not exactly how that works.
You're mine.
Although I wish it worked.
Seems like an emergency. Cascade. Here's backup. Don't get too close.
Wow. Using all these shielders? True. Ooh. Wait, Nilo's ass right now. I don't have Dendro characters. Yeah, I need characters. I need to stop buying buffs and I need to start buying characters. I'm running out of characters. That's not good. No. I mean, that's fine. Okay, do I want a Hydro or a Dendro character right now? Can I see my list of characters anywhere? I can't be bothered. Probably need Dendro.
Time to broaden the horizons again.
This is gonna be cringe though. Can already tell.
Let's get down to business.
Hey!
Say no more. Supporting fire. To my blade.
I see everything!
Riptide.
Russian floral! clean up the place. We'll see pretty little.
I got you covered. Don't get too close. Let's get down to business. What a lucky day.
Wait, what am I supposed to do now?
Temple of Wisdom.
I've already met. Am I just supposed to survive, I guess? Although I don't get punished by dying, so even that is...
Check this out. Supporting fire.
What are these things? Am I supposed to... I guess I'm supposed to pick them up. You can abandon? I can? Oh, okay, huge. I did not know I could. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. I really want to get this, but I know it's a bad idea.
Thank you for permitting, no, inviting me to join.
Stay close and you will live.
Okay. So I want to keep... I don't even know what elements the Lecter is. I'm guessing they're gonna have Pyro, Cryo, Electro. Yeah. Oh, no Cryo? I see. That's kind of annoying. So I guess that means a Burgeon team would be nice. So no Nahida now. And I'll probably do, like... Nahida, Singtail, Bennett... Flex for the last one. Which means I just do this now. That sure is a team. It's fine. Nebulet's in there. We'll be fine. I kind of want to keep channeling for the last one. So I just want to use my characters I have too.
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. Teamwork is dreamwork. Huh?
Let the mighty be humble. Bow your head.
I'm going in.
The tides beckon.
I guess having 55k HP makes this a little trivial. That's a Nebulet team, alright? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I'll just get this. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Good eye.
It's not like it matters at this point. Interesting. Missed a rare mystery cache? I don't really care. Okay, so I think our last team is gonna be Bennett, Chengling, Nahida, think so. We just do this here.
Be sanctified.
Overruled.
From the ashes to this world anew.
Bow your head.
Hear the inferno. The time for my
Shine down.
The tides beckon.
from on high. A glimpse of the future.
Silence.
All right, but all hear the inferno. Hear the inferno.
Justice is blind, Satan. Follow
The flames of resistance. Free!
Two Pyro DPS with Pyro Lectors, that's fine. I need a companion, otherwise I'm gonna run out. Oh, Kazuha. I'm probably doing... Yeah, definitely doing Kazuha.
All right, let's head off.
I can't use Dendro, which is ass. 'Cause there's just not enough Dendro characters. You're forced to start with 2 of them, so you kind of just run out so fast. You need Dendro? Wait, you actually need Dendro? As a Hydro Shield? Is it a big shield or a small shield? $16 gauge. Oh, that's not that big. I wanna try it without Dendro because it kind of feels like cheating if I use a Dendro unit just because chat told me to. I'm okay if I don't get it first try.
Game's up. Fun's over. Busted.
Wait. What were you guys talking about? What? What do you... What? Okay, you guys were fucking yapping. What the fuck? Yeah, dude, that was so hard without Dendro, man. Holy fuck. That was so hard. Let's see if it was a fluke. Let's see if it was a fluke.
Overruled. Quietly now. Here comes the catch.
I completely fucked that up.
Transfixed. Wind strike.
I understand that it is indeed a lot harder without them. I see. Still very doable, but I understand why now. I didn't realize it did damage to you. I can't use Nilo because I don't have Dendro characters, man. You have Nahida, but yeah, but I need to keep her for the last one. Also, can't get two of these anymore. Might as well. Sure, whatever. That'll be nice. Yeah, I'll take that.
I have high hopes for this journey.
Okay. Let's... Oh boy. Chat, you're gonna see some things that are not going to be pleasant for your eyes, okay?
Mine is echoing song.
The wind drills me. Things are about to get dicey. Busted.
Here come the fireworks.
Clouds high. The birds call.
Strike a pose.
Game's up. It's over.
Fuse is lit.
Time to go.
What we should do?
Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
We're gonna forget this ever happened, okay, chat? My memory was already wiped. Good. Good. Alright, we already have our team for this, so we can just get buffs here. I guess there's only one buff we can get, but... Tally will be kept. Eh. Whatever. I'm 5 away, Saj.
I will cleanse you of your
Rain cutter. Rain outlines your... Everybody stand back.
One
more sin upon your soul.
Let's light it up.
The unholy dross.
No, my sword.
Fight your salvation.
Minute to memory. Teamwork is dreamwork.
Repent
Witness the power
of your sins.
Well, that was Bob. Unironically, although it was pretty easy, all things considered, I feel pretty confident in saying that this is a massive step up from the last Imaginarium Theater. I actually feel a slight desire to try again, but this time try to get the burning buffs early. I don't really want to do it because I don't want to go get Dendro Traveler, and I don't want to focus my buffs on the Dendro thing when I don't have enough Dendro characters. But like, there's a slight tingle. Performance tour summary. Alright, let's see what we got. MUALANI highest damage dealt, 372k. Not bad. Superstar. Most opponents defeated Ibili with 8. Holy. Most damage taken, Nevilet with 29k. As a reminder, he had 54k HP. Very nice. Total characters appearing, 21. Star-studded cast, team that completed the performance the fastest, and is the team for the last boss. Okay. Not bad. We take those. Is that it? Okay. Supporting cast, Nilo. Nilo was the last one. Ain't no way. Oh wait, no. Supporting cast is not the same as alternative cast. Whatever. You know what I mean. Thanks to quote-unquote your efforts, this performance was superb. The audience is already looking forward to the next one. Visionary mode, total performance duration, 8 minutes 30 seconds. Current record, Act 10. Amazing. Hog. And Hog. Poses? Are there any new ones? Yes, I see. Kind of a shitty pose. That's alright. Let's get this one. I think I want to make a video on Imaginarium Theater. Title it, There Is Hope for Genshin's Endgame. Yeah. Alright, chat, say hi to YouTube. Just realized how fucking annoying it is that I can't access. Wait, you can access settings here? No. I can't access settings inside the fucking library, so I have to leave the library to turn down my volume. That's so cringe, man. Holy fuck. Now I go back. Alright. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome. Hi. To a quick video on Imaginarium Theater, now that we have had the third iteration of it. I didn't end up talking about the changes that that came around for the third iteration when they were leaked. because I kind of wanted to experience them for myself before talking too much about them. But now that I have, now that I've given it a proper shot, I want to talk about them and the positives and the negatives. I want to preface this by saying that it is still far from a perfect mode, but that the reason why I'm making this video is because I tend to be very, very critical of Hoyo in general, and I've had a lot of feedback from people saying that I'm overly negative, and to some extent, that's somewhat fair. I think it's just, it tends to be something that comes more naturally to me to point out when things are shit rather than point out when things are great. It's like, if something is working as intended, I don't tend to make a point of mentioning it. Whereas if something isn't, then I think that's important to mention. Which means that a lot of the content I make tends to be more negative than positive. And obviously the fact that Hoyo is the company that it is means that there's often a lot of negative to say. But I do want to give them some credit when they do things well. And while Imaginarium Theater is still far from a great mode, in my opinion, I think that the current iteration of it is significantly better than the previous one. Something I've mentioned a decent amount in my first video covering Imaginarium Theater, as well as multiple times on stream when we talked about leaks before it ever came out and after we tried it, was that Imaginarium Theater before this season very much felt like it felt no different than using an Abyss randomizer on floor 11. Obviously, there's some issues related to not having enough characters, and that can be frustrating for newer players. And I personally think that modes that inherently force you to pull for specific characters are cringe. But it's a gacha game, so you kind of just have to accept that that's their business model and that's what they're gonna do. So as frustrating as it is, it's not really something that I think warrants that much discussion. Yeah, it's shitty, but they're never gonna stop doing it like that. So I don't feel that it's worth spending too much time talking about. And I'd rather focus on the actual experience when you do fulfill the conditions in terms of having the characters. And in the first two iterations, the problem was that Imaginarium Theater, actually playing through it, just didn't feel different than playing Abyss. The buffs that you get from Imaginarium Theater matter so little that the buffs that you get from Imaginarium Theater matter so little that they're effectively the equivalent of Abyss cards in terms of overall impact. And it makes things feel incredibly stale because you're kind of just adding restrictions, and that's it. The thing though is that you can do that without having a dedicated mode for it. You can you can self-impose restrictions if you want. So when there's a new mode that comes out and it's just the equivalent of self-imposed restrictions, but they're imposed by the game instead, it felt like a massive letdown. However, now with the third iteration of Imaginarium Theater, they slightly reworked the way that the buffs work, and I think that it's a lot better now. It actually feels like the buffs are impactful in a pretty significant way. Is there a compendium anywhere? Sorry, what was I saying, chat? Oh yeah, the buffs they feel a lot more impactful, right? Instead of having a list of kind of worthless buffs that just give you minor conditional stat boosts, they've made it so that the buffs directly buff one of the 3 elemental pairs that you get from the elemental restriction, right? And there's 3 different elements you can have, then you're also going to have 3 pairs of element you can make with Hydro, Pyro, and Dendro. Those end up being, obviously, Vaporize, Bloom, and Burning. There's no buffs for Burgeon directly, but there's indirect buffs to Burgeon through Burning and Bloom. But the buffs that you get from those are big. They're big buffs. And I actually do think that the experience of playing these teams, while still not that different from just playing Abyss, does feel different enough to justify a new mode now. What do you mean Donald Trump is live on Twitch? What the fuck? It's in my recommended. Dude, what? Okay. I guess. Okay. Anyways, what was I saying, dude? I got very distracted by that. Yeah, the buffs are actually big enough to make it feel different from base gameplay. Obviously, it still has its issues when it comes to any account that is not an account that has a fuck ton of characters. But like the changes that came is they effectively added floors. And obviously made the latest floors tankier. And I know that when we had leaks of that, I saw a lot of people complain about, oh no, they're just making them tankier. But now the buffs are a lot more impactful, which means that in terms of actual difficulty, assuming you can have enough characters, I'd say that this version of Imaginarium Theater is much easier than the previous ones. Obviously, though, this is starting to be a lot of characters. Even I'm starting to struggle, right? Um, yeah, I do think it's really unfortunate that you're forced to run 4 characters every time. I do still think it would probably be better if you were allowed to run 3 characters or 2 characters and not waste vigor on characters. Especially at the start when you don't really have many team combinations and you're just going to end up having 4 carries on one team. Then obviously having to gear this many characters is annoying. Like, I have to have my Yoimiya on a level 80 sack bow because I don't want to level Rust and all of my other offensive bows are taken. Annoying. I don't like it. But those kinds of things aren't the end of the world on accounts where you know, older accounts with a decent amount of horizontal investment. But yeah, all of that said, yapping about it is cool and all, but it's always easier to get a picture for it from actual gameplay. So I will leave you guys with my first run through of this latest iteration of Imaginarium Theater. So I hope you enjoy. Okay. The editors are going to put the actual gameplay. And then we do outro. And that's going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the theater as much or more than I did. And I hope they keep improving it in the same direction. Keep making buffs more interesting. Keep making it last more bigger, longer, whatever amount of stages. Maybe add some exploration, non-combat stages in between with cool parkour or stuff like that. To actually link the combat part with more of the exploration side. I think that's the sort of stuff that you could very easily put into Imaginarium Theater. And obviously keep making blessings feel more and more impactful. Like that's the biggest part. Make the enemies twice as tanky and make the blessings do twice as much. It just feels more rewarding to pick the right blessing when that's how it works. But that's gonna be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, YouTube. All right. Did you even notice the third boss sucks your team's ER? I did notice, but I didn't have to ult, so it didn't matter. You said you don't like it when gachas force you to summon for characters. Is that the same for team archetypes as well? I mean, yeah. I think they would be better games if the gacha system didn't exist. But, like, it does, and that's just a reality of it. I'm not gonna complain that a new cool character gets released, because in order to get it, you have to use a gacha system. Because, like, yeah, it sucks that it's the gacha system, but that's a separate issue altogether from a new character getting released. It starts mattering if a new character is inherently reliant on another character, because it makes it so that effectively it becomes even more expensive. And that's kind of shitty, but it is what it is, I guess.
Off we go.
I should get her to level 70 at some point. It would probably be pretty worthwhile, because I don't have a lot of Denjo characters. Do you think Genshin would still make a ton of money if they gave everyone one copy of every character for free? I mean, without changing their business model? No, obviously. I mean, they'd still make a lot of money, but it would be a lot less. But, like, at the end of the day, right? The reason why gacha games are successful is because they make a lot of money. The reason why gacha games get more and more popular and companies add more and more gacha mechanics in their games is because it's an effective way of making money. Like, is it fair that Elon Musk pays less in terms of percentages in taxes than you do? No, it's not fair at all. It's completely fucked up. But it's legal, so you kind of just have to accept it, which is shitty. Wait, he does? Taxes are something that apply a lot less. The law in general applies a lot less to the rich. Like, keep in mind, there's whole ass professions dedicated to making rich people pay less money in taxes. In my country, it's the exact opposite. In pretty much every country, there's legal ways of committing tax evasions. Like, you're not going to be doing the crime of tax evasion, because a crime is defined by breaking the law, but you are going to do the action of evading taxes. Because you're going to find legal ways of avoiding having to pay them. Yeah, like, an accountant's job is basically find law loopholes to avoid having to pay taxes as much as possible. You're making me feel scummy for studying accounting. I mean, you can... Okay. The reality is that some of the loopholes are intentional. Right? Like, tax rebates in general. And any sort of tax law that are actually supposed to protect lower income people, they're effectively intentional loopholes, right? I think it's shitty that that's how it works to begin with, because generally the people that need the loopholes tend to be the people that can't afford accountants. It's shitty that that's how the system works, but it is how it works. You can be an accountant and still not end up being the reason why rich people avoid taxes, right? But you're gonna make a lot less money than accountants whose job it is to help rich people avoid taxes. It's kind of the same as lawyers, right? As a general rule, the more helpful you are to unethical people, the more money you make. People that study the law in order to protect people, and that become lawyers to protect people, and that stick with it, do not make nearly as much money as people that study the law to make money and are willing to compromise their morals or have no morals at all. So public versus private ones? I mean, not necessarily. I'd say when it comes to lawyers, the most ethical way to run a law practice is probably small law firm who just takes on class actions and like individual clients. Then the middle ground is working on the prosecution side. And the problem with the prosecution is that some laws are just unfair, and your job is inherently to follow the law as it's written, as it is, not to do the right thing. So if the law is shitty, then sucks to be you, I guess. And then the, like, bottom of the barrel is rich lawyers that take on rich clients and protect them from class actions, protect them from consequences for breaking environmental law, protect them from stuff like that. And looking at it like that, the shittier you are, the more money you make. Is money really worth sacrificing your morals and ethics? The reality is that for a lot of people it is. Like, people don't do the right thing because it's the right thing. People do the right thing because it makes them feel good to do the right thing. If someone's brain chemistry makes them feel better doing the wrong thing and getting the happy consequences than doing the right thing, am I really better than them? Just because my brain chemistry's nicer? I don't have control over the fact that I feel guilty when I do things that are mean, and I feel good when I do things that are nice. Does that mean that you should excuse people from doing bad things? No. It means you should create an environment where doing the bad thing makes you feel like ass and doing the right thing makes you feel great. Yeah. I do the good actions even when I hate it, but here's the thing. You don't actually hate it, otherwise you wouldn't do it. Or like, or rather, you don't hate it more than the alternative. Otherwise you wouldn't do it. It's because you dislike the feeling of guilt that you get when you do the wrong thing more than you dislike whatever consequences come from doing... from not doing it. There's no universal set of morals you can assume applies to everyone. That's not as interesting of a subject to me. Because I just don't think it really matters. Does it, like, in what way does it matter whether or not making someone suffer is morally bad? Morals are a social construct. It doesn't really matter if they're objective or subjective. Like, what changes if they're subjective? So to me, that's not a particularly interesting topic. Doesn't mean those things don't matter or aren't debatable. Yeah, but like, my point is not... it's a social construct, therefore it's not worth talking about. My point is, whether it's a social construct or not, whether it's subjective or objective, what are the consequences of that, right? Will you... What changes if morals are objective? Versus if they're subjective. If there's an objectively right set of morals, doesn't change the fact that we have no way of knowing what it is. We're still gonna be forced to rely on our own subjective interpretations of morals. So why would it matter? There would be laws against it? No. Like, I don't think you understand. Sure, the conversation would matter if there was an actual way to find what the objectively moral and immoral things were, but there isn't. Inherently, there's not. That's because morality is a social construct. It makes it so that objectively, or there's no actual... Even if there is an actual objective set of rules for morality, there is no way for us to know what it is.
Need a surfboard?
So, why does it matter? Whether it's subjective or objective, you're still gonna have your own subjective set of rules. Whether an objective set of rules exists out there, the fact that it's not something that you can ever know about means that it just doesn't matter. To build a more moral society. But again, there existing a set of moral rules that we have no way of accessing does not change whether or not we should strive to be better people. Like, morality effectively boils down to avoiding pain, right? But in most, you just made that up. What is something that is morally wrong that does not cause pain? Like, the essence of morality is don't do bad things. Yeah, pain doesn't have to be physical, exactly. Like, I'm not saying don't... Like, physical or emotional or psychological pain. Like, inherently, morality is just a set of rules to... that tell you how not to hurt other people. And moral dilemmas arise from situations where pain is unavoidable, and you want to figure out the best course of actions when every course of action causes pain.
Off we go.
Now, because we don't have the ability to access an objective truth when it comes to morality, I don't think it matters whether morality is objective or subjective because, well, it doesn't really change anything. But that's unfortunate. There we go. Anyways, what were we saying? I think that's an evolutionary trait. People in societies experiencing pain and suffering are less likely to reproduce / flourish. Yeah. Like, you can argue morality is a tool for society to flourish. Morality is effectively a reproductive tool. It makes it so that you get to stay alive long enough to reproduce. It's an evolutionary tool. Sure. And that's a fine way of looking at it. But whether it's objective or subjective doesn't really affect that point of view. It's an interesting conversation to have, whether it's subjective or objective. Like the morality as an evolutionary tool is interesting regardless of whether it's objective or subjective. Anyways. We aren't racist at birth until society teaches us there's a difference. That's a yes and no. Racism is complicated and multifaceted, and it refers to a lot of different things. It's a bit of an umbrella term that refers to a lot of actions that come from different motivations, right? Like, I think it would be completely fair to say that the following two situations depict someone who is racist. First one, someone fucking yelling a racial slur at you, obviously. That person is racist. another situation is crossing the sidewalk because you see a black guy in front of you and going on the other side of the street. Right? That's another situation that where it's a racist action, but they come from different motivations and different incentives, right? Which is why the idea racism is something that's taught. It's not something that people have at birth. It's a nice thought, and I think in a lot of situations that's true, but there's certain situations where racist behavior is the sort of stuff that is not affected by your upbringing. I mean, if your reply to that is no, a kid isn't racist until it's taught, all I have to say is you did not understand what I said, and that's okay. You don't have to, but you did not understand what I just said.
Need a surfboard?
Let me try to find a better example. Would you guys? I'm posing it as a question, but it's rhetorical. The answer better be yes. Would you guys agree that it would be racist for someone to refer to an Asian guy they met on the street as Ching Chong or Small Eyes or something like that? Yeah, like that's omega racist, right? But if it's someone's first time meeting anyone who's Asian,
Need a surfboard?
and that's their reaction, is that racism that was taught? Not necessarily. A difference in physical traits being noted isn't necessarily a form of racism that was taught, right?
Need a surfboard?
There's a difference between being offensive and being curious. I mean, you can be both. Sometimes you can mean no harm with your curiosity and it can still be offensive. And that comes from ignorance. My point is that racism is a word that is too vague for the statement racism is taught, it's not something you're born with, to be entirely accurate. I very much agree with the idea, and the underlying sentiment behind your statement. Most racism is, but I think it's important to recognize the limitations of the English language when it comes to words that are not precise enough and that allow for interpretation, like the word racism. What word would you use? I mean, if you want to be entirely precise, you would have to list the forms of racism. Or say, most racism is taught. That would be a statement I could 100% agree with. I also think there's an argument to be made that there's a difference between something being actively taught and something being internalized passively. Right? Because I would argue that tribalism isn't really something that's taught. I would argue that, from what I understand, it's something that is very much an innate human trait. But the way that tribalism manifests depends on what you consider to be your tribe, right? Or like your group of people. And it can manifest in a lot of different ways, but it can very much also manifest as...
Need a surfboard? Off we go.
Isn't tribalism taught by the tribe? I don't think it is. Like, the reality is that humans are an animal that
Need a surfboard?
evolutionarily has spec for group life, not for solo life. And tribalism, from what I understand, and it's hard to actually know, because it would be incredibly cruel to actually research whether traits are innate like that, because you'd effectively have to fucking put a kid in a room for 10 years from the moment they're born and not have them actually interact with anything if you want to know if something is innate or taught. But what was I talking about? But yeah, I do think that tribalism, just the idea that effectively people around me are working with me. Other people may be working against me. Right, that's the essence of tribalism, right? It's you have your inside group and you have people outside of it.
Need a surfboard?
The inside group's purpose is to keep the group alive, and the outside group purpose is unknown. And it's effectively, I don't know what the incentives, or I don't know what's the objective of this group or of this person, right? Their goals are unknown because they're not in my tribe. It is possible that their goals do not line up with mine, and so I should be wary of them. I shouldn't trust them implicitly, right? That's like the core of tribalism is, I don't know who you are, so I don't know if I can trust you. You're an outsider. I'm scared, right? And I think that's innate. I don't think that's something that's taught. But if your tribalism manifests as, well, I've only ever met white people before, this is my first time meeting a black person, this is a new group that is unknown to me. I believe that can manifest as racism. Whereas if you're raised in an inside group that includes both white and black people, then that tribalism won't manifest. In the form of racism, at least.
Need a surfboard?
Because you grow up considering both groups as part of your tribe. Does that make sense, chat? So basically the point being, I definitely think that some forms of racisms aren't taught. I think that your racism is either innate, but innate racism is not really generally harmful. Like, it tends to be describing people by their physical traits, which lines up with racist stereotypes or offensive things that aren't inherently offensive, but they're offensive because of their historical use, right? That's probably the first category. Then the second category is racism that isn't actively taught, but that is like a consequence of other concepts, like tribalism. And then there's racism that is actively taught. I think the way to address these, like, each of these different groups is different. So I think it's an interesting conversation because of that. There's some actual effects to there's actual consequences to understanding or categorizing them this way. You're trying to broaden how we use the word racism nowadays? No, I'm not. Like, that's the thing. I'm not saying, hey, racism is a word that should be used in these contexts. I'm saying racism is a word that is used in these contexts, and in each of these contexts, it means something different. You're giving examples of a lot of different things which aren't what we mean when we say racism. I'm sorry, but what example? Can you tell me which one of my examples was not what people mean when they say racism? You have, like, a single one? I did talk about things that weren't racist, indeed. I did talk about tribalism, which is different from racism, but I wasn't saying tribalism is racism. I was explaining how how in certain situations tribalism can manifest as racism. Tribalism wasn't an example of racism. It was context for the specific example of racism that comes from tribalism. But, like, yeah, if you're scared of a black person because it's the first black person you've met in your life, it is racist. I don't think it makes sense, that's what I'm trying to say. But, what do you want me to reply to that? I don't think it makes sense that some people don't like chocolate. But if someone tells me some people don't like chocolate, I'm not gonna be like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, your statement is incoherent. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay. I personally do like chocolate. Like, I'm not gonna tell you you're wrong. Everyone likes chocolate. Like, no. Like, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Does Mr. Streamer count prejudice against white people as racism? So again, right, that's another example of racism being a word that is very vague. It can refer to a lot of things. Depending on what you mean by racism, the answer to that question can be either yes or no. Racism as treating people differently / worse because of the color of their skin. If that's your definition of racism that you're, like, asking this question about, then yes, prejudice against white people would be classified as racism. But also, when people say that it's not racism, what it means is it's not on the same scale. They don't experience the same systemic racism. They're like, they're not saying no one will think less of you if you're white. They're saying you have it better if you're white. You're playing life on easy mode. You're not experiencing nearly the same amount of prejudice as I do. And they're right. But again, right, it comes down to the English language, and any language, honestly, being inherently vague. A statement like, white people can't experience racism, is too short and vague to be worth, like, debating. But yeah, it's something that is worth talking about, but it's not worth talking about with someone who refuses to understand that multiple people mean multiple things with the word racism. That words, especially words that describe concepts, are not nearly precise enough for those kinds of questions to be simple. The issue with this whole thing is that it's not a conversation worth having. However, most people that are interested in having this conversation are using it as a dog whistle, right? People that say, look at these angry, mean leftists dismissing my experience by saying white people can't experience racism. Look at how stupid and unreasonable they are.
Stabilize.
They're not making the nuanced argument racism can affect white people in some ways, albeit ways that are less harmful than most other racial groups. They're saying you should stop listening to these unreasonable people because I'm misrepresenting their argument about this. Right? And it's important to realize that. Racism against white people most of the time is based on their own disgusting attitude against other groups? No. If you get treated poorly because you treat others poorly, you are not the victim of racism. I'm assuming what you're trying to say is based on the assumption that the white person will be racist. I'm assuming that's what you're trying to say, right? I've experienced some people assuming that I'm racist and treating me poorly because of it, and they assumed I was racist because I was white. I'm assuming that's what you're actually trying to say, right? But it's very important to differentiate that from what you actually said. Because when you say their own, you're heavily implying that the person in question actually did the thing, right? If there were no mirrors or reflective surfaces, how could you know your skin color? You know you have skin outside of your face, right? That one I'm not following. Going to an Indian restaurant and them giving you the less spicy food because they think you can't handle it based on your skin color. I mean, is you being given a milder food, a milder fucking dish, a harmful thing? If you say, I want the very spicy thing, I have high spice tolerance, please give it to me, and they actually straight up give you the wrong dish, sure. That's, I guess, kind of fair, but it's also incredibly minor and who cares? If you don't ask, and they give you the milder one, you didn't get wronged. It's not really racism. I'm glad to hear that, Renee.
Solidify.
Stop relativizing racism. The thing is, you can say it, you can say that if you want, but like, the reality is that people talk about racism against white people to effectively discredit racism against black people. They don't say things like, I have experienced racism and I am white in a fucking vacuum. They say it with a goal in mind. And it makes it so that saying, well, your experience with racism is inherently fucking nothing compared to what black people have to go through isn't just meaningless drivel trying to if the statement is inherently made to dismiss racism against others, then I don't think it's wrong to dismiss the importance of your statement. It's like, It's like the difference between saying or like going on Twitter and tweeting, I stubbed my toe today. That sucked. And going on Twitter and saying, I got a major injury today that completely incapacitated me when I hit my toe on the door. It's like, I mean, that one's kind of, that's not a good analogy because that would actually be a funny tweet. Because it's a funny subversion of expectations and it's not, okay. Anyways. Listening to Zajef yap on my right earphone while listening to Zayos shout on my left earphone is so peak. True. True and real. That is the peak. Alright, do we have any other interesting subjects of discussion to yap about? How do you build Dea for burning? I want to use her with Kanich. It doesn't really matter. Like, her defensive utility does not scale with defensive stats or offensive stats. So you kind of just build her on whatever. Talk about world hunger. You know, it is actually kind of crazy that world hunger is a problem that is intentionally keeping itself alive. Our capacity for food production has long exceeded our need for food. The only reason why famine or why people still die of hunger is because well, nobody cares enough. Missed the Pyroculus? Did I? Oh shit, I did. It's a distribution issue? Yeah, but the distribution issue is... It's not like we couldn't fix it. It's not like it's an innate issue that is... Like, it's very fixable, it's just not profitable to fix it.
Want me to come along?
Keeping the Global South poor is way too profitable to ever bother actually fixing world hunger.
Follow the wind.
It's unfortunate. Aware. How am I doing today? I'm doing okay. A little tired because my sleep is a little behind, but overall not bad. Anyways. I've been getting a little bit better. It's hard to say because I didn't sleep last night, so I'm kind of tired even though I had a decent night. Or not last night, but the night before. Anyways. Very nice. Complete an entire performance on any difficulty having selected at least 8 mystery cache events. I guess I'll try that next time, perhaps. Imagine if theater buffs go hard, a little too hard, IMO makes it a joke. I disagree. It's not that the buffs go too hard, it's that the enemies are too squishy. The buffs need to go hard, otherwise it doesn't feel any different from just fucking playing Abyss. At least this hard, ideally harder. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed your stay. Maybe tomorrow we'll actually do the local legends. I don't really want to raid anyone today, so